It is the middle of the night, and somewhere in a quiet house a woman is sitting up in her bed with her hand wrapped around her own calf. The muscle has gone hard as a fence post, that deep, twisting cramp that pulls you straight out of a sound sleep and leaves you wincing in the dark, trying not to wake the whole house. She presses her thumb into the knot. She points her toe toward the ceiling. She waits for it to pass, and when it finally lets go, she lies back down on the pillow, tired and a little defeated, and she stares at the ceiling, knowing that tomorrow night it may very well happen again. I have sat up in that same dark more times than I care to count. Restless legs, night cramps, that crawling cannot get comfortable feeling in the legs that comes on the moment the lamp goes out. My grandmother had it. My mother had it. And one autumn, when I was carrying my third child and could not get a single peaceful night, my mother came to my bedside, lifted the corner of my mattress, and slid a plain bar of soap under the bottom sheet. I thought she had lost her mind, but I was too tired to argue, and so I left it there. The grocery store and the drugstore would have you believe that the only answer to a restless night is something you buy in a bottle, a pill for the cramps, a spray for the sheets, a machine that hums by the bed, something new, something packaged, something that costs you money every single month for the rest of your life. And I am not here to tell you those things never help anyone. But I am here to tell you that long before any of that existed, plain folks slept through the night with nothing more than what was already in the house. And one of the oldest, strangest, most stubbornly passed down tricks of all is the bar of soap under the sheets. My name is Hannah. I am a plain Amish wife and mother, and I keep house on a small farm in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, the same way my mother and her mother kept house before me. My husband Samuel laughs at me for some of these old ways, right up until the night they work on him too. And the bar of soap is one he stopped laughing about a long time ago. Now I want to be honest with you from the very start, because honesty is worth more than any trick. No doctor can tell you exactly why a bar of soap under the sheets seems to ease restless legs and night cramps for so many people. The learned folks have not settled it. Some say it is the scent of the soap. Some say it is the magnesium in certain soaps. Some say it is nothing but the comfort of believing and the body settling because the mind has settled. I am not going to stand here and promise you it is a cure, because it is not a cure, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you something. What I can tell you is that it costs you almost nothing to try, that generations of women swore by it, and that on the nights I forget to keep one tucked under my sheet, my legs are the first to remind me. So today I am going to walk you through the whole of it. I am going to tell you exactly how to do the soap trick, which soaps work and which ones do not, how often to change the bar, and what to do when it stops working. And then I am going to give you 8 more old bedroom tricks from my grandmother's nightstand, simple things that cost pennies and have helped my family sleep through the night for as long as anyone can remember. Some you will have heard of. Some, I would wager, you have never once considered, and every last one of them is within reach of any household tonight. If you find these old ways useful, I gather the fuller version of them, the remedies and the rhythms of a plain home, in my book at your website. It is there if you want it. I will not bring it up again until later on, and even then only once. Let me start with the soap itself. because that is what brought you here. The trick is as plain as it sounds. You take a bar of soap, you unwrap it, and you slip it under your bottom sheet down toward the foot of the bed, roughly where your calves and shins rest through the night. Some folks tuck it right under the fitted sheet so it cannot wander. Some slide it into an old pillowcase or a thin sock first so it does not press a hard ridge into the mattress. Either way works. The soap stays in the bed. You sleep on top of it. That is all there is to the doing of it. The why is where the honesty comes back in. The most common belief is that it has to do with the scent and the trace minerals in the soap, and that as the body warms the bar through the night, something in it eases the muscles just enough to keep the legs from seizing and twitching. Lavender soap is the one my mother always reached for, because lavender on its own has calmed restless people for hundreds of years. Whether it is the soap or the lavender or the simple ritual of tending to yourself before bed, I cannot say for certain. What I can say is that the people who try it tend to keep doing it, and people do not keep doing a thing that gives them nothing. Here is the practical part. Use a plain, well-scented bar, lavender if you can get it, a simple French-milled soap, or a good old-fashioned bar like the ones our grandmothers used for everything. Avoid the cheapest, hardest, scentless bars, because the folks who report the best luck almost always mention the smell. Leave the bar in the bed all night, every night. And here is the piece most people miss. A bar of soap loses its scent over time, and when the scent fades, so does the effect for most people. So once a month, or whenever you notice the smell has gone faint, take the old bar out, set it by a sink to use up for washing, and slide a fresh one in. You can refresh an old bar a little by scraping the surface with a knife or a vegetable peeler to open up new soap, but a fresh bar is simpler. The cost of this is almost nothing. A good bar of scented soap runs you $1 or $2, and it lasts a month or more in the bed before it needs changing, and then it still goes on to wash your hands afterward. Nothing wasted. Compare that to what folks spend on the bottles and the sprays and the gadgets, month after month, year after year. Samuel was the hardest man in the county to convince. He called it foolishness. He said a bar of soap belonged at the wash basin and nowhere near a grown man's bed. And then he spent 3 nights in a row pacing the kitchen at 2 in the morning with his legs aching. And on the 4th night he did not say a word. But in the morning I found the soap had moved to his side of the bed. He has never admitted it out loud to this day. But the bar stays on his side now, and he sleeps. That is the soap. Now let me give you the rest of what my grandmother kept by her bed, because the soap is only the beginning, and these others have helped my family just as much. Number 1. A small cloth pouch of dried lavender tucked inside the pillowcase. If the soap works partly because of its scent, then it stands to reason that the scent on its own is worth keeping close. My grandmother sewed little muslin pouches no bigger than a child's palm and filled them with dried lavender from the garden. She slipped one inside each pillowcase, down near the bottom where your hand does not bump it. The warmth of your head through the night draws the scent up slow and steady. Lavender has been used to settle restless minds and bodies for as long as anyone has written things down, and unlike a pill, it cannot do you any harm. To make one cost you a handful of dried lavender and a scrap of old cloth. We grow the lavender along the south fence, cut it in July, and hang it upside down in the loft to dry. A single summer's cut-in fills pouches for the whole house and then some. Refresh the lavender inside once a year, or give the pouch a gentle squeeze each night to wake the scent back up. My grandmother had one in her pillow until the day she died at 91, and she slept like a child every night of her life. Number 2. Bare feet on a cool floor before bed. This one costs you nothing at all, and it is one of the oldest. For the few minutes before you climb into bed, stand or walk on a cool bare floor with your bare feet. Wood or stone or tile, whatever you have. The old belief is that drawing the heat out of the feet and settling the body's warmth helps quiet the legs and bring on sleep, and that a body too warm and too closed up is a body that will toss and turn. Whether the science of it is exactly so, I leave to wiser heads. But there is something to the ritual of it, the cool floor underfoot telling your whole self that the day's work is done and it is time to be still. My mother made all of us children do this before prayers in bed. 2 minutes, no more. Then warm socks if your feet run cold, and into bed. It costs nothing, it asks nothing, and it has settled 3 generations of restless children in my family. Number 3. A glass of water with a pinch of salt and a spoon of honey. Now here I must give you the honest word, because this one touches on the body, and I will not be careless with it. Many old folks believed that night cramps came from the body wanting for water and for the simple minerals in good salt, and so they kept a glass of water by the bed with a small pinch of plain salt stirred in and a spoonful of honey to make it kind to the stomach. A few sips before sleep, a few sips if you wake. For most healthy folks, a little water and a pinch of salt is a harmless old comfort. But hear me plainly. If you are a person who has been told by a doctor to watch your salt for your heart or your blood pressure or your kidneys, then this trick is not for you, and you must leave the salt out entirely and drink only the water. The body is not a thing to gamble with. When in doubt, plain water alone, and ask someone who knows your health. My grandmother kept her salt and honey glass on a saucer by the bed every night, but my grandmother also worked a farm from dawn to dark and sweated out more salt in a morning than most folks do in a week. Know your own body. That is the rule. Number 4. Warm the bed, not the room. We were never a family that could heat a whole house through the night, and I have come to believe we slept the better for it. A cold room and a warm bed is the oldest recipe for deep sleep there is. My grandmother filled a stoneware crock or a metal warming pan with hot water, wrapped it in a length of flannel, and set it down at the foot of the bed 20 minutes before anyone climbed in. By bedtime, the sheets were warm right where your feet would go, and the rest of the room stayed cool and still. A warm-footed, cool-headed body falls asleep faster than a body baking under too many blankets in an overheated room. Today you can use a rubber bottle filled with hot water from the kettle, wrapped in a towel so it never touches bare skin. Fill it, tuck it at the foot of the bed, and by the time you lie down, your feet meet warmth and the rest of you stays cool. It costs you 1 kettle of water. Mind you wrap it well and never use water straight off a hard boil against the skin. Number 5. The same hour every single night. This is the one nobody wants to hear, and the one that works the best of all. The body keeps time better than any clock, if only you let it. My mother put us to bed at the same hour every night of our childhoods, and woke us at the same hour every morning, Sabbath and all. No staying up late, no sleeping in to make up for it. The body that knows when sleep is coming begins to ready itself an hour ahead without you lifting a finger. The body that is sent to bed at a different hour every night never learns the rhythm and fights you the whole way down. This costs nothing but your own discipline, which I will grant you is sometimes the dearest price of all. Pick your hour, keep it. Within 2 weeks your own body will start growing heavy at that hour on its own, and you will wonder why you ever did it any other way. Before I go on to the last 3, let me say this once and not again. If these old bedroom ways are something you would like the whole of, the full collection of the remedies my family keeps, I have gathered them into my book at your website. It is there if it serves you. Now, the final 3. Number 6, no looking glass of light before bed. The old folks did not have the glowing screens we have now, but they understood the principle of it better than we do, for they guarded their eyes from bright light in the last hour before sleep without ever being told to. My grandmother turned the lamps low after supper. The house went soft and golden and dim, and by the time we went up the stairs our eyes and our minds were already half into sleep. Bright light late in the evening tells the body it is still daytime and holds sleep off at arm's length. So in the last hour before bed, turn the lamps down low. Put away the bright screens if you keep them. Let the house go dim and quiet the way the evening itself goes dim. It costs you nothing but the turning of a knob, and the difference in how heavy your eyes feel at bedtime will tell you the rest. Number 7, a cup of warm milk, the way it was always done. I know. The learned folks go back and forth on whether warm milk truly brings on sleep or whether it is only the comfort of it. I will not pretend to settle what they cannot, but I will tell you that a small cup of milk, warmed gentle on the stove, never scalded, with a little honey stirred in, has sent more children and grown folks off to sleep in this country than any pill ever invented. There is something in the warmth, something in the ritual of it, something in the quiet few minutes of sipping a warm cup in a dim kitchen with the day finally behind you. We keep a goat and a milk cow, so milk is never far in this house, but a cup from the store does the same. Warm it slow. Do not let it boil. A spoon of honey, never sugar. Drink it slow in the half hour before bed. My grandmother made it for me the night my mother passed, and I have made it for my own children on every hard night since. Number 8, hands and mind emptied before the pillow. This last one is not a thing you buy or brew. It is a habit, and it may be the most important of them all. My grandmother never carried the day's troubles into the bed with her. Before she lay down, she sat at the edge of the bed for a few minutes in the lamplight, and she would say her prayers, and she would let go of whatever had gone wrong that day. The bread that did not rise, the harsh word from a neighbor, the worry over money or weather or a sick animal. She set it all down at the edge of the bed like taking off a heavy coat, because she said you cannot sleep well with your arms still full. You need not be a praying woman to do this, though I am. Sit a few minutes, breathe slow, let the day go. A mind that lies down still falls asleep. A mind that lies down spinning will spin till dawn. This costs you nothing but 5 quiet minutes, and it is the richest 5 minutes you will spend all day. Now let me bring it all together for you, plain and practical, the way I would tell it to my own daughter setting up her first household. Start with the bar of soap tonight, because it is the easiest and the strangest and the one you came here for. Unwrap a scented bar, lavender if you have it, slip it under the bottom sheet near your feet, and sleep on it. Change it once a month when the scent fades. While you are at it, sew or fill a small pouch of dried lavender for the pillow and refresh it once a year. These two cost you $1 or two and a handful of garden lavender, and they are the foundation. Then build the habits around them, one at a time. Stand on the cool floor for 2 minutes before bed. Keep a glass of plain water by the bedside, with a pinch of salt, only if your health allows it, and plain water if it does not. Warm the foot of the bed and keep the room cool. Hold to the same bedtime every night until your body learns it. Turn the lamps low in the last hour. Warm a small cup of milk with honey when sleep is slow to come, and sit a few quiet minutes before you lie down, and set the whole day down before you close your eyes. You will not need every one of these every night. Some nights the soap alone will do. Some nights you will reach for 3 or 4 of them together. The point is not to do all of them like a list of chores. The point is to build a quiet, settling rhythm at the end of your day, the kind of rhythm that plain folks lived by for hundreds of years before any of us were taught that the only answer to a restless night comes in a bottle with a label on it. And that, I think, is the heart of the whole matter. There is no money to be made in teaching folks that a $1 bar of soap and a handful of garden lavender and a few quiet habits can settle a restless night. There is a great deal of money to be made in selling that same tired soul a bottle of something new every single month, year after year, world without end. So the old ways get called foolishness. They get laughed at, the way Samuel laughed at the soap, right up until the night his own legs taught him better. And slowly, household by household, the knowledge that every grandmother once carried gets forgotten until folks lie awake in the dark, believing there is nothing to be done but spend more money in the morning. You do not have to be one of those folks. The old ways are still here. They still work, or work enough to be worth the trying, and they cost so little that you lose nothing by finding out for yourself. So here is what I want you to do this very night. Before you lie down, take 1 bar of scented soap, unwrap it, and slip it under your bottom sheet near your feet. That is all. 1 bar, 1 night. Cost you $1. And in the morning you tell me whether your legs were quieter than they have been. Just that one small thing tonight. Then come back and tell me in the comments below. I want to know 2 things. Did the soap help your legs? Yes or no, plainly. And which of these old bedroom remedies your own grandmother kept, the ones I named and the ones I did not? The pouch of lavender, the warm milk, the cool floor, the warming pan at the foot of the bed. So many of these old ways are different from one family to the next, and one valley to the next, and they get lost forever when nobody writes them down. So write them down here with me. I read every single one. And the next time we sit down together, since we have been speaking of restful nights, I am going to show you the old way my grandmother made her own sleep pillows and bed linen smell of lavender and cedar all through the year without a single store-bought spray, the way every linen closet in a plain home once smelled. Subscribe so it does not pass you by. Until then, keep the lamps low, keep the soap under the sheet, and remember that the most peaceful house is the one that learned to settle itself the old, quiet way, long before anybody thought to sell it peace in a bottle. That is how my grandmother did it, and that is how it is still done in any plain house that remembers.